Finding your wedding dress can be one of the most exciting parts of planning your wedding, but there are a few things you should know before getting started. So I'm here with Megan Lawler from Lily and Lottie Couture. Megan, where do you start when a bride comes to you?
Well, we start at the very beginning. We always get the bride right after they're engaged. It's a great time. It's a fun experience to shop for your wedding gown. You bring your friends, your family, your entourage. So we get them in the very, very beginning. When they come in, we sit down here, we talk a little bit, and we see if they've shopped before, what kind of silhouettes they're going for, if there's any elements they like or they don't like. But I genuinely encourage everyone to try on everything, every dress they can, because you never know. With bridal, it could look entirely different on the body than it does on the hanger. So we just have a great time and put beautiful gowns on beautiful brides.
Do you encourage a bride to get all of her shoes and accessories from the same spot as well as they're getting their dress, or should they be looking elsewhere?
I mean, it's your only time to try these things on and shop as a bride. So I encourage people to shop around. I do that. But of course, it's easier if you get it all in one place because, for example, the shoes, you're not going to carry, or your undergarments, you're not going to carry your gown to those other stores to make sure they match. So in that aspect, it's easier to get it all in one place, especially with the veils and the other accessories, because we make them here in-house, so we will match the color perfectly. We will take the elements from their dress and match them perfectly, and it will really, really seem seamless. Now, I do have a lot of brides that will bring their gowns that they've bought elsewhere in, and they do their alterations here, and then they get the rest of their apparel, and we style the rest of their wedding, which is common. So it's not discouraged, but it's easier.
Okay. What should a bride be asking you? What are the important points that she needs to cover with someone who's helping her pick out one of the most important dresses of her life?
Yeah, I do get a lot of questions, and it's funny. I find that brides are almost apologetic for asking questions, and I'm like, don't worry, you know, you've never been a bride before. How are you going to know the answers to these questions? So first off, I'm going to start with the place where you're buying the dress. How educated are the people helping you? Here at our store, we don't have quote-unquote sales associates. We have bridal consultants. I've personally trained them in fit, construction, details, silhouette. I myself have a bachelor's degree in fashion design. We do custom gowns here in-house. I've also studied at the Paris Fashion Institute and worked in a couture house before opening my own business. So there's a lot of elements that need to be considered, including textiles, which is often overlooked. You're not going to put a bride who's getting married on the beach in a very heavy Duchess satin, you know, traditional bridal fabric. You'll do something lighter like a chiffon or a dupioni. And plus, when you're doing a higher end bridal experience, there's not sizes. The gowns are cut and handmade upon order, so we only have one dress for the brides to try on in the store. So they're usually a larger size to accommodate most body types, and then they're clamped where the fabric is pulled back, and then there's this device that holds it in place to see what your body would look in that. Well, I have found that at other salons, if the person helping the bride does not understand the silhouette of the dress, they will not be quote-unquote clamped incorrectly, meaning that if the bride tries on a mermaid dress that is 3 times larger than her size, it will look more A-line because there's so much extra fabric. And then when she's measured and the dress is ordered in her size, it'll come in and it'll be mermaid and it'll look like an entirely different silhouette, which the bride might have fallen in love with the A-line and now has a mermaid dress. And in bridal, all sales are final, so you really want to make sure that you know exactly what your dress will look like. I also find that a lot of brides don't know the production time, especially in higher end where it is cut upon order. You need minimum 6 months before your wedding. It takes 12 to 14 weeks alone to come in from the designer, and then you must allow 1 to 2 months for alterations. So that's on the minimum, and there are rush fees. It can be done sooner, but there are rush fees, and if you can avoid paying an extra fee, you know, why not?
Definitely. That's a big amount of time to allow alterations and all the shipping and whatnot. So they've really got to be aware of that time difference. It's not last minute shopping.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What questions should they be asking about price and quality?
Well, price and quality, what's great is because of the economy, brides can really take advantage. And I am having a lot of my higher end designers, they're offering, say, a domestic silk versus an imported, which will bring the price point considerably down, which is a great option we've never had before. Custom is also another great way to kind of tailor it to your price point. You can either put more money toward the actual design and construction of the gown, or you can put more money toward the textiles. Just like the higher end designers, they're recutting in a domestic fabric, that's the same with custom. So there's a lot of options and a lot of price points, different price points can be met. So.